Okay, everyone, let us quickly start with the Act 4, Scene 3 of Julius Caesar. Now, Brutus and Cassius continue their conversation within the tent. So, if you don't remember, in Act 2, Act 1, we read about the other side of the story with Antony and Octavius and uh, Lepidus in it. But in the Scene 2, we just read about Cassius and Brutus, and now we are at Act 4 Scene 3, where we'll discuss about the conversation of Brutus and Cassius, which is actually very interesting. So Brutus and Cassius continue their conversation within the tent. Cassius complains that Brutus has punished Lucius Pella for accepting bribes. Brutus accuses Cassius of taking bribes by selling offices. Positions to men, offices are like position posts to men of little merit. After some argument, Brutus informed Cassius that Portia is dead. Portia is the wife of Brutus. Cassius expresses great sorrow. The two leaders agree to advance their armies to Philippi and engage Antony and Octavius. Then Brutus bids good night to Cassius and another. Alone at night, Brutus is unable to sleep. The ghost of Caesar appears and announces that Brutus will see it at Philippi. Brutus decides to march to Philippi for one of the most decisive battles in history. Okay, so scene 3 is in Sardis only, and last was also in Sardis, Asia Minor. Sardis, now this is inside the tent of Brutus. Now, that was also inside, I guess. I'll just check. It was in a camp near Sardis. And before Brutus's tent, in front of Brutus's tent, this was going on. This is now they have entered inside. Cassius says, that you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noticed Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his side, because I knew the man were slighted off. That okay, so he Cassius is complaining to Brutus that you have wronged me. How you have wronged me? Because you have taken action, you have condemned and disgraced, you have condemned and taken action against Lucius Pella. If you remember, we have read Lucius Pella in the previous one, but that Lucius was the servant of Brutus. This is Lucius Pella, who is an officer of Cassius's army and also a friend of Cassius. So he says that you have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes from the Sardians. Sardians are the people living in Sardis. Then what happened was Cassius wrote letters in the favor of Lucius Pella to not disgrace him, to not punish him. But you did not pay attention to that and you slight it off. And Brutus also publicly disgraced him for writing letters. Okay. So what all happened is that Lucius Pella had taken bribes from Sardians, but Brutus has had publicly disgraced him for writing letters, and also he had disgraced and condemned Lucius Pella. Whereas Lucius Pella was a friend of Cassius, so he did not like that. Brutus says, you wronged yourself to write in such a case. How could you write in support of such a man? Okay. Cassius says, in wartime, in such a time, like they're talking about the crisis of the situation, there is wartime. As this is not meet, this is not appropriate that every nice offense should bear his comment, that we should not focus on every little offense, every comment should not be criticized, right, at this juncture where there is a war time. Brutus says, let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm to sell and martyr offices for gold to undeservers. He says that you yourself are accused of taking bribes and selling post for money. You have been accused by a lot of people for having an itching palm. An itching palm is someone who has taken bribes, right? Who's fond of taking bribes and sell offices in search of gold, and he has sold offices to undeserving people, right? For example, in their army there are positions of commanders and so many other positions. So he is saying, Brutus is accusing that Cassius has taken actually bribes from people and has given offices to undeserving people. Then Cassius says, I, an itching palm. He is shocked. You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by the gods, this speech were else your last. He says that, are you accusing me of monetary greed? Uh, I swear to God that if you were not Brutus, this would be your last words. I would kill you. Okay, Brutus says that the name of Cassius honors this corruption and chastisement doth therefore hide his head. He says that the name of Cassius converts corruption into honor, hence chastisement, which is punishment, does not show itself. Okay, so what he's trying to say is that the name of Cassius, for example, if there is a person who is very honorable, who is reputable, and everyone thinks nice about them. So even if they do a bad deed, it will be termed as a good one only. It happens in school actually. If there is a person, if there is a student who has a good reputation, right? There are some students who have a good reputation in front of the teachers. Even if they do something bad, they're not punished for it because their image is such that. The same is with Cassius. So Cassius, although he is uh, although he has been taking part in corruption, but his corruption is turned into something honorable because of his name, and because of that there is no chastisement, there is no punishment. Cassius says chastisement. He is again shocked. How dare you talk of punishment, he says. Brutus, remember March, the Ides of March, on 15th of March. Did not great Julius bleed for justice's sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay the moon than be such a Roman. So what he's trying to say that uh, on 15th of March, we all know on 15th of March, Julius Caesar had died. Now, Brutus is saying there was no one vicious enough to stab him for other cause than our own cause. What was our own cause? My cause was justice. So, at this juncture, Brutus still thinks that their cause was justice's cause. But actually, Cassius's cause was not that. It was personal reasons. Other than justice, did we strike him and stabbed him for other reasons than justice? If we have done that, then we are villains only, but we have not then done that. Each one of us, we stabbed the most important man of the world for justice. Why? Because he supported robbers. We had killed him because he was a corrupt man, because he had been supporting robbers. He allowed tax collectors to act corruptly, and he was supporting robbers and all. Shall we now contaminate our own fingers with base bribes? Now, shall we contaminate our own fingers with these bribes and sell the mighty space of our large honors? And should we sell our honors and reputation for money, worthless, for worthless things like money, gold, and etc.? So what he is trying to say that we can't be such great hypocrites, right? We can't be so hypocrite that we have killed, literally killed the greatest man of Rome, because he was corrupt and he was supporting corrupt men and robbers. Then how can we not punish someone who is taking bribes? And how can you, as Cassius, take bribes at all? Then he says that for so much, I would rather be a dog and bark at the moon. So being a dog and bark at the moon, what this is a little metaphoric. So you see some dogs, when they see the moon, they feel that there is an object sitting there and they bark at it, just to scare it away, but actually nothing is going to happen. So this is a stupid, meaningless thing. So he says that I would rather be a dog than be such a Roman. Cassius says, Brutus, bay no me. Don't harass me. Don't mentally harass me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself. You forget who you are to hedge me in. Who are you to restrict my authority? I am a soldier. I am older in practice, abler than yourself to make decisions. I am abler than yourselves to make decisions because I am older in practice to decide regarding making appointments. Right, so you are saying, he's saying that who are you to challenge my authority? I'm literally older than you, I'm more experienced than you, I'm abler than you in making decisions. So regarding appointments, how can you say my appointments are corrupt? Brutus says, "Go to, you are not Cassius." He says that you must be kidding. You are not abler than me, or certainly not. He says, "You are not Cassius," which means you are not Cassius, you have changed. Sorry, that is not what this means. He says, "Go to, you are not Cassius," which means go. You must be kidding. You are not abler, Cassius. Cassius says, "I am. I am what I was before." He's basically saying that I am abler than you. Brutus says, "I say you are not." Cassius is now not ready to accept Brutus's dominance, whereas at all other junctures he does accept Brutus's arguments and dominance. Cassius says, "Urge me no more, I shall forget myself. Don't bully me. I shall forget myself," means I shall lose control. "Think of your safety. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no further." Think of your safety. Think of what will happen to you if you play around with me and tempt me, no, not to provoke, do not provoke me any further. Then Brutus says, "Away, you slight man. Away, slight man." Cassius says, is it possible that I will go away? I'm so strong and you're telling me to go away? It's not possible. Then Cassius says, then sorry Brutus says, "Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be frightened when a madman stares? Do you really think I'll bow down to your impulsive anger and be scared from you? Listen to me, I have something to speak. I must not give in to you. I will not submit to your quick temper." Rash choler is quick temper. So this is an important thing. Must I submit to your quick temper? Rash choler. Choler is an element in the body that gives you excess bad temper. So shall I be frightened when a madman stares? What am I? Am I supposed to be scared? When you stare at me, you are a mad person. Cassius says, "Oh ye gods, should I endure all this?" So he's very angry at this juncture. Says, "All this and more. Fret till your proud heart break. Rage until your ego breaks." Right? You just be angry all that you want. Go show your slaves how choleric you are. Go show your servants how rageful and how angry you are. And make your bondmen tremble and make your servants also tremble. But why should I budge? Must I observe you? Must I give in to you? Should I submit it to you? Must I stand and crouch, which means should I stand and bow low to you under your bad humor, which is your testy humor? By the gods, by the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen. You will digest the venom, the poison of your own anger. Though it do split you for from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, yeah, for my laughter when you are waspish. He says that you are going to destroy yourself from your rash collar. You're going to destroy yourself from the poison of your spleen. Though it does split you, for from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth. I will not get affected by whatever you are doing. I'll use you as an element of laughter. I will laugh when you. I'll take you as entertainment. When you are waspish means when you get bad tempered. You Here it's written in an allusion. You shall swallow the poison of your anger, spleen, even if you burst with it. So he says that you can stew in your own anger till it consumes you. I'm not going to tolerate your moods, right? So he says that he's just saying that your dominance will only work in front of your slaves. You can tremble your servants, you can just show them how rageful you are, and but why will I budge in front of you? I do not care. You will face the consequences of your testy humor, but I will take you as a mirth for laughter. Cassius says, "Is it come to this? Is our friendship, is our relationship क्या इस चीज पे आ गया है?" Brutus says, "You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Prove it. So making your wanting true. Okay, and it shall please me well. For my own part, I shall be glad to learn of noblemen." So he says that you are a better soldier. He says that I am ready to accept that if you prove it to me. And if you prove it to me, I'll accept that because I am very readily, excited and very I'm ready to learn from noblemen, from the mistakes of from noblemen, and I'll accept that you are a nobleman if you prove me to do so. I'll be happy to see your proof. So he's being sarcastic and he's cleverly putting him into account. Cassius says, "You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I say an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better soldier?" Now he is trying to back off. He's saying that never said I'm a better soldier. I said I'm an elder soldier, but he did say he was abler because he was elder. That's something, but he's backing out now. Brutus says, "If you did, I care not." Cassius says, "When Caesar lived, he does not thus have moved me." Now he is like फेंक रहा है अभी ये कह रहा है कि अगर सीजर जिंदा होता तो he who is the greatest man of the earth, even he would not have behaved like this with me. When Caesar was alive, even he didn't dare to anger me this way. Brutus says, "Enough, enough. You does not so have tempted him." क्योंकि कहता है तुमने उसको इतना गुस्सा दिलाया ही नहीं होता. You don't have the guts to have tempted Caesar like this. Okay, so he's saying basically you have tempted me like this, so I'm reacting this way. Whereas Cassius is saying that no one, even Caesar, wouldn't react this way. Then Brutus said you wouldn't have tempted him that way too. So that's what's going on. Cassius says, I wouldn't have done. Brutus says, "No." Cassius, "What? Does not attempt him. I would haven't dared to tempt him." Brutus says, "Not on your life. For your life, you does not." Well, no, there's no way you would have done that. Cassius says, "Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for. Don't count too much on my love for you. I might do something I'll regret later," which means I will kill you. And they're always talking about killing someone. Brutus says, "You have done that you should be sorry for. You've already done the thing you'll regret." So, in the previous line, he said that do not presume, do not count too much on my love, and I shall do something I'll regret later. Brutus say that you have already done something that you'll regret later. There is no terror. I'm not scared by empty threats that you give me, Cassius. For I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. Okay, so this is a great statement of hypocrisy here. You listen, it's written that you've already done the thing that you'll regret. I'm not scared by your empty threats that you give me because I'm protected by my own honesty. I'm an honest person. Your threats pass me like idle winds, like insignificant breeze. It does not. I don't even feel it. I barely even notice it. I sent you a message the other day asking for certain sums of gold. So he's saying that a few days back I asked you about certain amount of gold to give it to me as money, and you have refused, and it's against me to raise money by vile means. So he's saying, Brutus is saying that I asked you some money for the troops, for raising the troops, but you denied to me, and it's against my nature to raise it by vile means. So this is a huge hypocrisy because Brutus really knows that Cassius himself has raised it by vile means. So if he's getting that money, he's indirectly getting the illegal money only. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection I did send to you for gold to pay my legions. Why was he asking gold? To pay his legions, to pay his troop, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? So what he's saying that I prefer to turn my heart into gold and my drops of blood into silver coins, drachmas, that squeeze the than squeeze the hard hands of peasants to get their little money by any evil means. So I would not trick evil by evil means any peasants to get money off them. And if I was there, I would sell myself. Like I would make my heart of gold and my blood drops of silver drachmas, and I'll sell that, and I'll pay my legions. But I won't do any vile means. But you refuse to give me your money. Is this how Cassius answers his friends? Should I have answered Caius Cassius? So I should also answer you like this. When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous To lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him into pieces. He says that if I ever grow so greedy that I hoard such worthless amount of money from my friends, then gods, you can tear me into pieces. So he's saying that if I become like you, if I become like Cassius, and I start hoarding money, I start collecting money and not give it to my friends in such a way, then gods, you better burst me from lightning and thunderbolts and tear me into pieces. Cassius says, I denied you not. Brutus says, you did. Cassius says, I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back to you. Brutus hath, you have pierced my heart. He says that that person who has brought to you my message back, that person was a fool. I did not actually refuse. Brutus, you have pierced my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are. Okay, this is a good line. This is actually giving a depth into friendship and how things have to be. He says that Cassius's opinion is that a friend should bear his friend's infirmities. Like if you have some weaknesses, a friend should bear with them, right? And but Brutus is making my infirmities, my weaknesses, even larger. He's actually amplifying my weaknesses and showing them greater than they actually are. Brutus says, I do not till you practice them on you, me, till you, I won't amplify your mistakes until you use them against me. He should not use his weaknesses as an excuse against him because he didn't give him money for legions, right? Cassius says, you love me not. Brutus says, I do not dislike your faults. Cassius says that a friendly eye could never see such faults. A real friend would never see my faults. Brutus says, a flatterer's eye would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. A flatterer's eye would not see someone's fault. That thing is also right. If someone is bent on flattering you, they'll ignore all your faults and just keep on praising you, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. Okay, so he's saying, this is funny allusion, that even if a friend's weaknesses are appearing as huge as Mount Olympus, we have this huge Mount Olympus. If the weaknesses are as big, even then, if the person is not considering it, then he is a flatterer only. Cassius says, come, Antony and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourself alone on Cassius, for Cassius is tired of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brothers, checked like a bondman, all his faults observed. He says, and he's telling his enemies who are potential enemies of Antony and young Octavius. He says that take your revenge on Cassius alone. Take your revenge out on me. For Cassius is tired of this world, hated by the one he loves, defied by his brother, scolded like a slave. All his faults are being noted in a notebook, learned and coned by root, learnt by heart, and then cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep. I could have died of grief, my spirit from my eyes. There is a dagger, and here is my naked breast. Within a heart, dearer than Pluto's mind. Okay, before we get into that, let's understand this much only. He says that just kill me because people who love do not love me back. They notice my weaknesses so much, they write them down in their diaries, um, and then, uh, and then just they learn it so hard and then cast it into my teeth, and I could weep. And then he says that there is my dagger and here is my naked breast. Within a heart dearer than Pluto's mine, richer than gold. So I have a heart which is dearer than Pluto's mine. I'll tell you what Pluto's mine is. Richer than gold. If that thou best a Roman, take it forth. I that denied the gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better. Okay, so he's saying that my heart is more valuable than Pluto's mind. Pluto is the god of the underworld, but often confused, as in this text, with Plutus, a god of riches. Pluto, being the god of the underworld, is said to have easy access to mineral wealth. So he's saying that Pluto who is the god of the underworld, but often confused as Plutus, who is the god of riches. So there are two people, Pluto and Plutus. Pluto is the god of the underworld, and Plutus is the god of riches. Pluto is the god of the underworld, and Plutus is the god of the riches. Pluto, being the god of the underworld, is said to have an easy access to mineral wealth. Okay, Pluto, being the god of the underworld, is said to have an easy access to mineral wealth, which is an allusion. Two people, Pluto and Plutus, both of the this Pluto guy is a god of underworld, and Plutus guy is god of all the riches. Pluto, being the god of underworld, is said to have an easy access to mineral wealth. So basically, he's going all emotional and just breaking out at this point. He's saying that my heart is more valuable than Pluto's mine. Why? Pluto's mine has a lot of wealth, mineral wealth, richer than gold. My heart is richer than gold. And if you are a good Roman, then take my heart. I, who refuse to give you gold, will give you my heart only. Okay, so strike, kill me like you killed Caesar, because I know that you loved Caesar more than you'll ever love me. Now this is a heartwarming situation. Now also, Brutus says, "Put your dagger away, sheath your dagger. Be angry when you will; it shall have scope. You are free to be angry with whenever you want to. Do what you will; dishonor shall be humor. I look at your insults as a product of your bad mood." Okay, so he's saying that say whatever you want, do whatever you want to do, but I look at your insults as a product of bad mood only. Oh Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb. You are as innocent as a lamb. Innocent animal who talks about himself. He is comparing himself to a lamb. You are yoked means you are tied with a lamb, right? That carries anger as the flint bears fire. So basically, he's saying that Cassius, you are tied with me. I am Brutus, and he's comparing himself to a lamb, and he's saying that that lamb, that is me, I carry anger as the flint bears fire. Flint is actually a cold stone, yet when it is struck by steel, it gives out fire, after which it is cold as before. Brutus says that he is like flint. He has momentary spark of a temper, then he is calm as before. So flint, when struck with steel, it gives out fire and then it becomes cold as before. So I am like a flint and I bear fire, who much enforced to a hasty spark and straight is cold again. Cassius says, "Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus? Have I lived this long only to be mocked by Brutus? When grief and blood ill tempered vexed him, when grief, anger momentarily get best of me." Okay, so he's saying that have I lived so long only to be mocked by Brutus, when grief and anger have taken over his mind, and they have vexed him, they are giving him troubles. Brutus, when I spoke that I was ill tempered too. Okay, so I reinterpreted it, and it actually means that have I lived so much of my life, so only to be laughed by at Brutus when I am very angry, and my anger has taken over the best of me. I am very angry. I am uncontrollable. So have I lived so much that when I am angry, Brutus will laugh at me. Okay, so after that he says, Brutus, when I spoke that I was ill tempered too, I was in bad temper too. Cassius says, do you confess so much? Do you admit that? Give me your hand. Brutus says, and my heart too. Cassius, oh Brutus. Brutus, what's the matter? So Brutus says that I was angry too when I laughed at you. Cassius says that you are admitting that you were angry. Brutus says, and I'll give you my heart too. I give you a promise I was angry. Cassius says, oh Brutus. Brutus says, what's the matter? Have not you love enough to bear with me? Do you not love me enough to bear with me? When rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful. To patiently bear with me when the bad temper I inherited from my mother makes me forget how I should act. So he's like blaming it basically on his mother, that my mother has inherited me with such rash temper, and when I am under the control of the rash temper, then I forget how to act. Brutus says, yes, yes, Cassius, and from henceforth, and from now on, uh, and from now on, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, when you are angry with me, I'll think that your mother is scolding me, and I'll leave it on that. When you are angry with me, I'll assume that it's your mother scolding me, and I'll leave it at that. And he says this a little comedically only. Then a poet comes. Poet says, let me go in to see the generals. There is some grudge between them. So you remember who is at the door? Lucilius and Titinius are at the door, and poet says, let me go in to see the generals. There is some grudge between them. This not meet, they be alone. It's not good that they are alone. Lucilius says, you shall not come in. Poet says, nothing but death will stop me. Poet enters, followed by Lucilius and Titinius, and Lucius also. Lucius Pella is nowhere said in this play except this line. Cassius says, how now? What's going on? What's the matter? Poet says, for shame, you generals, what do you mean? Love each other and be friends, as two such men shall be. For I have seen more years, I am sure, than you. He says that just love each others, don't fight, because I have seen more years than you, I am sure. Cassius says, ha ha, how wildly doth this cynic rhyme. How badly and how does this rude man rhyme? Cynic is a philosopher, right? Then Brutus says, get out, sir, rude man. Get out hence, Sirrah, saucy fellow, hence. Cassius says, bear with him, Brutus. This is the poet's way. He says that tolerate him, this is the poet's way. Brutus says, I'll know his humor when he knows his time. I will accept this kind of humor when there is a proper time for it. What should we do with these rhyming fools that follow our armies? Get out, you fellow. Then Cassius says, away, away, be gone. Exit poet. Brutus says, Lucilius Titinius bid the commanders Lucilius and Titinius bid the commanders, asked the commanders to prepare to camp for the night, prepare to lodge their companies tonight. Cassius says, then come back and bring Masala with you. Masala is the person's name. Immediately to us. So Lucilius and Titinius asked the commanders to prepare for camping, to sleep, and then come back and bring Masala with you immediately to us. Lucilius and Titinius go. Brutus says, Lucilius, bring a bowl of wine. Cassius, I did not think you could have been so angry. You could have gotten so angry. I did not think. Brutus says, oh Cassius, I am worn out of many griefs. Cassius, of your philosophy you make no use if you let bad luck upset you. I do not think you will get angry soon. Oh, Cassius, I am worn out of so many griefs. Cassius, of your own philosophy you make no use if you let bad luck upset you. Now, this is an important part of this chapter. What philosophy was Brutus following? He was following Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy is a philosophy when you really don't care about anything. You do not uh, you feel no happiness, you feel no sorrow, right? It's not like you're forcing yourself not to feel it. It's like you do not react irrationally in these situations. Like, if for example, if there is something bad going on in your life, you will not take the anger out on a friend like Brutus did it now. So, if you're of your philosophy, you make no use if you give place to accidental evils. If you let bad luck upset you, how are you even stoic? Brutus says, no man bears sorrow better. That no man better than me will bear this sorrow better because Portia is dead. Portia is his wife. Cassius, huh? Portia? She is dead. How did I escape being killed by you when I made you angry at such a time? This is such an unbearable and touching loss. Pluto says, I am unable to bear her absence and grief that young Octavius with Mark. She was okay, so he is actually telling about Portia only, that she was unable to bear my absence and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong, for which for with her death. Okay, so she basically Brutus was absent for a long time, and uh, Octavius, young Octavius, and Antony were becoming stronger and stronger. So which was making her impatient. That tidings came under the impact of her impatience. She may became mentally despaired or imbalanced, and her when her attendants were absent, she swallowed fire, which means she swallowed burning coal. Burning coal she swallowed. Cassius and died. Even so, O you immortal gods, enter Lucius with wine and tapers. Lucius is the servant. Lucius enters with wine and tapers. Brutus, speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of my wine. In this I bury all my unkindness, my previous anger. With this drink I bury all of that. Cassius says, my heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. My heart is craving to be told that you have forgotten all the ill feelings against me. Fill Lucius till the wine overswell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus's love. Now this might sound like a gay situation. Like, why are they showing so much love to each other? They think I cannot drink too much of Brutus's love. If it is a gay situation, we'll never know, because previously, like long time back, when there were these types of play, they did not really say these things aloud, right? They just battered it around the tag of friendship, but we can't really say anything. He's basically saying he can never get enough of Brutus's friendship and affection. Friendship, of course. Conflict is over, but tension between them is still there actually. Brutus come in Titinius, exit Lucius, enter Titinius with Masala. Welcome Masala, now sit we close about this burning candle here and consider our situation. Cassius, Portia, are you really gone? Now Portia has again brought up the topic of, sorry, Cassius has again brought the topic of Portia. Brutus says, no more on that. Masala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony are marching fast towards Philippi. Philippi, just remember the spelling of Philippi. 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 Okay, Philip and P. Bending their expedition toward Philippi. Masala, myself have letters of the self same tenor. I have received same letters. With what addition? Masala says that by proscription and bills of outlawry. They say that Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have stripped the legal protection against from all of their people, and anyone can now kill them without punishment. They say that the Octavius and Antony and Lepidus by has stripped the people of legal protection. Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators. Have put to death 100 senators through legal proclamations declaring men to be protected by law. Proscription is condemning to death. Bills of outlawry are sentencing to exile. So they have sentenced people to exile, and they have put up notices announcing death of people, and with which they have stripped them of legal protection, and now anyone can kill anyone, and they put to death 100 senators. Brutus, therein our letters do not agree well. Mine speak of 70 senators that died, and one being Cicero. So Cicero is dead. Who was the one who killed, made the first stab? That was Casca. But Cicero is dead. Cicero is dead. Just remember that. Cicero is dead. So 100 people, Masala said that 100 people had been put to death, and 70 people were put to death by, as per Brutus. Cassius, Cicero won. Masala, Cicero is dead. And by that order of prescription, had you your letters from your wife, my lord? Have you had the letters from your wife? Brutus says, no, Masala. Nor nothing in your letters writ of her, nothing, Masala. That methinks is strange. Why ask you? Heard you in aught of hear you aught of her in yours? No, my lord. Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true. Then, like a Roman, bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by a strange manner. Well, goodbye, Portia. We must die, Masala. With mediating, knowing that she would have to die, sometimes I can endure her death now. So he's because he had not told Masala that he knew that Portia was dead. He's just asking about Portia to him. And Masala says that yes, he's dead, and Brutus says that yes, farewell, bye bye, everyone has to die, and knowing that gives me a little comfort. Then Masala says that's how great men should endure great losses. Okay, so one more question was there, I remember. What was written in Brutus's letters? One was that 70 senators had died, and Cicero was one of them. And what was Masala's letters? What did Masala's letters say? That by proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators. By proscriptions and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus. By proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators. Brutus says, now as you, okay, so this is done. That's how great men should be at great losses. Now this is an important page coming forward. Cassius says, I have as much of this in art as you, but yet my nature could not take it so. So he's saying, I know stoicism as well as yours. Uh, I know about stoicism as much as you do, but I could have never taken this loss with such courage. He is a sensitive nature kind of guy. Brutus says, well, to our work alive, what he says, let us forget the dead, let us forget what has gone, let us focus on the work alive, our what work we are here with. What do you think of marching to Philippi presently? Philippi is the battlefield, they are at Sardis. Cassius says, I do not think it is good. Brutus says, what is the reason for thinking it's not good? He says that it's better that the enemy seeks us, so shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offense, and whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness. He says that it would be better if enemy feels compelled to seek us out, because then they will waste their means, wear their soldiers, and we will rest and become strong. We are full of rest, strong and fresh and vigorous. Cassius asks Brutus to stay where they are and let army seek them. Brutus asks to march to Philippi. Okay, so he is asking them so that they waste their resources, weary their soldiers, and we will rest till the time and become strong. Then Brutus says, good reasons must of force give place to better. Good reason, he says that these are good reasons, but let us find better reasons. We can think of better reasons. The people twixt between Philippi and this ground, between Philippi and Sardis, there are people, they do not stand with us in forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution, they have given men and money under a grudge, they are not real companion. The enemy marching along by them, when the enemy comes towards us and they march along by them, they shall make a fuller number up, they will come up refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off? If at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back, so we'll cut him off of the advantage of adding new people to their army if we actually go to Philippi. Right, so they will not have to go through the whole distance, and they will not get more soldiers. He says that he is basically trying to say that our soldiers are forcibly with us, and the enemy can recruit the army of Brutus if the enemy's troop passes by them. He is saying that we can think of better reasons. The people who live between Sardis and Philippi, the soldiers, they are scared of us. They are here because they are scared of us. They are terrified of us. They gave us men and money for army, and if the army marches, they give us men and money only for army, but out of force, out of compulsion, they have given it to us. And if the enemy marches through them, they'll have more of them, and they'll come refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off? If at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back, if we have to, we can block him of this advantage if at Philippi we do face him there. Then Cassius says, hear me, good brother. Brutus says, he compares the course. Okay, so hear me, good brother. But Brutus cuts him off and then continues with his whole lecture. He says, under your pardon, you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy is increasing its strength every day. We at the height are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted all the voyage of their lives, is bound in shallows and in miseries. In such a full sea, we are now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our ventures. So, what he's trying to say is he's comparing the course of life to the ebb and flow of tides in this lake. In the sea, the ebb and flow of tides move up and go down in the sea, and the same way there are tides in the course of life. So he says that please allow me to finish. He tries to convince that the appropriate time to fight has come. He says that you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. We have got all, we have reached the peak of our power. There are no more alliances we can make. There are no more people that we can take on our side. Then he says that we are the utmost of our friends, our legions are brimful, our troops are fulfilled, there are no more people we can add, they are large enough, our cause is ripe. Ripe means we are already encouraged enough. Then the enemy's strength is increasing every day. Enemy's strength will increase every day. And but we are at our height, we are at our peak, and we are ready to decline. After this, we can't add anything. Our strength will only decrease. And there is a tide in the affairs of men. There is an ebb of flow. There is a, an opportunity in the life of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. If the tide is coming and we take the advantage of the opportunity, then it leads us to fortune. If the advantage is omitted, then all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. And if it is omitted, all the voyage of their life, the whole life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our ventures. Like a ship is stranded in shallow water. Okay, so if a ship is stranded in some shallow water and there is a tide, the ship should go with the tide and move to the greater sea to get more opportunities. And if they do not take advantage of the tide and stay in the shallow water, they'll remain full of sorrow their whole life. So if human beings use the opportunities given to them, it will bring them good fortune only. Then he says that Cassius says, then with your will, as you desire, go on, let us proceed and meet them at Philippi. Again, Brutus has overpowered Cassius. Brutus says, the deep of night is crept upon our talk. Our body must require sleep. Human nature must accept its needs, which will be satisfied with a short rest. Right? The human body needs rest, which we will negard with a little rest. There is no more to say, no more. Good night. Easy, early tomorrow we will rise, and hence. Brutus says, Lucius is the servant. Enter Lucius. My gown. Exit Lucius. So he gets his nightgown. Farewell, good Masala. Good night, Atenius, noble Cassius. Good night, good repose. Oh, my dear brother, this was an ill beginning of the night, a poor start of the night, because we had a conflict. Never comes such conflict, division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus. Everything is well. Good night, my lord. Good night, Brutus. Good night, good night. Everything goes by. Then Brutus says, farewell, everyone. Enters, then Cassius, Titinius, and Messala go back. Lucius enters with the gown. Give me the gown. Where is your instrument? There is a stringed instrument like a lute. Like a flute is there. Flute ka F hata do. There is a lute also there. I don't know the difference between a flute and a lute, and don't even ask me. I don't know if there is an difference also. But an instrument is a stringed instrument with a lute, called a lute. That is what Lucius plays. Lucius says that it is here in my tent. Brutus says, what thou speaking drowsily? Why are you speaking like that? Poor knave, I blame thee not. Thou art overwashed. He's saying that I don't blame you for speaking drowsily. You, thou art overwashed. You have been kept awake for a long time. Poor knave means poor rascal. Rascal is not used as an abusive tone, in an abusive tone here. Like A dishonest man, don't, poor rascal. I blame thee not, thou art thou overwatched. You have been kept awake for a long time now. Call Claudius and some other of my men. So Varro and Claudius are two people which will come in the further act in the scenes. I'll have them sleep on cushions in my tent. Varro and Claudius enter. Varro and Claudius calls my lord Brutus. I request sirs lie in my tent and sleep. I might wake you up to send you on a business to my brother. Brother is Cassius. Varro says, if you like, we will stand and watch your pleasure. Brutus says, I will not have it so. Lie down, good sirs. I may be, I shall, otherwise bethink me. Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for so long. I put it in the pocket of my gown, so to read. Varro and Claudius, remember, these have been put to, stand and watch to lie down in the tent. Lucius, I was sure your lordship did not give it in. Brutus, bear with me, good boy. I am much grateful. So he is saying that Lucius, here is the book I sought for so long. I put it in the pocket. So I was sure your lordship did not give it to me, which means that I was sure that you had not given it to me at that point. So he's saying that I was sure that you had not given it to me. Bear with me, good boy. I am much forgetful. Can't thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while and touch thy instrument a strain or two? Eh, my lord, ain't please you? I am much forgetful. Can't thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while and touch thy instrument a strain or two? He is asking him to just play his instrument. Lucius, yea, my lord, if it pleases you, I will do that. Brutus says, it would, my boy. I trouble you too much. Are you willing to do so? He's saying it's my duty. He says that I should not urge you beyond your bedtime. I know young bloods look for a time of rest. He says, I have slept, I have taken a good nap already. Brutus says, that was smart. Go to sleep. I will not hold you too long. If I survive, if I do live, I will be good to thee. If I survive, I'll be good to you. Then music and a song towards the end of which Lucius falls asleep. This is a sleepy tune. Oh, murderous slumber. Sleep has come heavy weight on his eyes. That plays the music. Good boy, gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong to wake you up. I'll not do the trouble to wake you up. If your heads were to nod down, I'll take it from thee. He takes the instrument from him and says, good boy, good night. Let me see if not the leaf turned down. What I left reading, here it is, I think. So sleep has become heavy weight on his eyes. Lace thou thy leaden mace. So mace. During Shakespeare's days in legal proceedings, an officer touched a man on the shoulders with an official staff called the mace, symbolizing his arrest. Here, sleep is personified as an arresting officer. Look at the level of this personification. That sleep is a mace. During Shakespeare days, when legal proceeding, an officer used to touch the shoulder of the man with an official staff, official mace. Okay. Then, when this all was happening, enters the ghost of Caesar. At the end of this very long scene, enters the ghost of Caesar. How ill this taper burns! Ha! Who come here? Who comes here? How this taper? What was wrong with it? Reference to the Elizabethan superstition. Elizabethan superstition was that the candle, the taper, would burn blue if a ghost appeared. So it was apparently appearing blue, and Brutus was looking at it when a ghost appeared. This was the ghost of Caesar. How ill this taper burns! I think it is the weakness of my eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. Then he says, it comes upon me. Art thou anything? It's coming towards me. Are you anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil? That makes my blood cold. It has a chilling effect, and my hair is standing erect. Tell me what you are. Ghost says, I am your evil spirit. Why have you come? I have come here to tell you that I will see you again at Philippi. Brutus says, well, then I shall see you again. Ghost says yes at Philippi. Brutus says, why I will see the Philippi then? At that time, the ghost goes away. Why ghost had has ghost of Caesar come to tell him that it would meet him at Philippi. Now I have taken heart, thou vanished. How I got courage to speak to you, you vanished. Whenever I got courage to speak to you, you vanished. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with you. Boy, Lucius, Varro, Claudius, sirs, awake, Claudius, Lucius. The strings, my lord, are out of tune. Brutus, he thinks he is still awake. Lucius, awake, my lord. Did you dream, Lucius, that you were crying in your dream? Lucius says, my lord, I do not know that I did cry. Yes, did you see anything? Lucius says, nothing, I saw nothing. Brutus says, sleep again. Lucius, Syrra, Claudius. Syrra is person, like not the name of someone, like hello, ut jao. This is like Syrra, wake up. Okay. To Varro, he says, wake up. Varro says, my lord, why did you so cry out, sirs, in your sleep? Did we saw you anything? No, my lord, I saw nothing, nor my lord. Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Give my greetings to my brother Cassius, and order his troops to move in early, and we will follow a little later. It shall be done, my lord. Cassius was Brutus's brother-in-law. This is something I want to remind you. Now I am also tired. It's almost 1 hour that we have completed this whole scene in a long dog scene, but it has ended. The ending bit, the ghost part is actually important, but not a whole piece will come out of this part. It's important for you to know the importance of the ghost, and the ghost will reappear at Philippi, and we will meet. We will also meet at that time, because we have officially ended Act 4 of this Julius Caesar, and now we have the last act of Julius Caesar, that is Act 5 coming through. So we'll meet in the next video.